Hi, my name is Jamie Lynch, and you are listening to Eating Habits, my podcast about everything restaurants. I will explore the human element of the hospitality business, and I'll talk to the who's who in restaurants, explore their stories, and hear what's on their minds in the ever-changing landscape of the food and beverage industry. Hey there, listeners. Welcome back to the Eating Habits podcast. On this week's episode, I catch up with my favorite local TV personality, Kristen Miranda. Kristen is the managing editor of the lifestyle shows on WBTV. She often hosts chefs and culinarians on her program to do little cooking segments and talk about what's new, what's fresh with restaurants and food around Charlotte. Over the years, Kristen has become a good friend. She's a hilarious person, and she's one of the sweetest, most genuine and caring people I know. So we have a great conversation. It's loaded with some insights into what she does and what she sees from chefs, as well as some pretty comedic moments. So enjoy this week's episode.
I'm Kristen Miranda. I'm the managing editor of lifestyle content at QC Life at WBTV. I host our two shows, 9 and 3, and I'm so excited to be on Eating Habits.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. Great job. You nailed it.
Whew, that was a lot of pressure.
I
No
know.
teleprompter. I tend to panic.
So this is super fun for me because
Wow.
I have you on the other side of the interview.
It's terrifying for me.
Is it?
Kind of.
Yeah, because you don't know what's coming.
No, I like to answer questions with questions.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So this should be interesting.
So this just might be an hour of questions that get no answers.
I like it. Okay, so tell us what it is you do here.
So I co-host our two lifestyle shows, 9 o'clock QC morning, 3 o'clock QC at 3, fully lifestyle, talk about all the cool things happening in our community. You've been on the show so many times. I adore you.
I was trying to figure that out today. I was like, how many times have I been on? And I was like, it has to be more than 50.
Easily.
Because it's been 10 years.
Yes.
And I come on multiple times a year.
Yes.
So
I was thinking about when you first came on, like when you guys first
do
opened.
you remember?
I remember it in the sense that we were so excited that you were actually coming on the show.
Yeah.
We were like, that guy, he's going to come?
Yeah.
Like, he's actually going to cook in our kitchen?
Yeah.
Because it was a big deal that you guys were opening here, and there was a lot of buzz about what you guys were doing here. And it was really the first restaurant that I've been here 15 years. It was the first restaurant that I remembered that got that kind of like, these are celebrity guys coming in here from the big city to open a restaurant in Charlotte that's going to draw big city people. And you proved it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you kept getting celebrities in there. They'd come into town. Everybody was talking about the restaurant.
The DNC was a big push too. Like our timing was kind of magical.
Yeah.
Right? Like we opened 3 months before the National Democratic Convention, which was huge. I mean, we had every big wig person in our spot, which put us on the map.
Huge.
You know, people were just like, whoa, what's going on at that place? So that helped a lot.
Yep. No, and I just remember thinking, like, we are so psyched and lucky that he's coming on to cook for us. And then we thought, well, he'll do this once and be like, I'm not going to do that small time TV anymore.
Right. Good with that.
But you keep coming back.
I know.
I'm so happy.
So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy too.
Yeah.
So we've known each other for 10 years.
Which is crazy.
Wow, that's wild. You
I
look
know.
great, by the way.
Thanks.
How do you do it? How the hell do you do it? What's the secret?
Do you think maybe I'm a vampire?
Maybe I thought about it. I'm like, how does she have like a? I wonder what your basement looks like. You have
Yeah, I sleep in one of those oxygen chambers. No, I don't sleep at all.
Okay.
I don't sleep at all. Do you sleep? I feel like you don't sleep.
I sleep. I do now.
Yeah.
I do. I found out I have sleep apnea. Yeah, because I snore really bad. So my fiance was like, "We got to put a stop to that."
Correct.
Shit.
She's like,
she's like,
she's like, this marriage is not done yet, so we're gonna stop this now.
Yeah. So I figured that out, and so I did like all the sleep tests and all that, and I got like the machine, and now I sleep like a baby angel.
So you
for like 5 hours a night.
So you wear the machine?
I do. I wear the thing.
Does it feel weird?
It did. Now I can't sleep without it.
Yeah. See, but
It's
I'm glad
weird.
you're wearing it.
Yeah.
I interviewed once. I can't think of her name. Reggie White's wife.
Okay.
You know, he passed away from complications of sleep apnea.
Oh, shit.
He had sleep apnea, and he had I don't want to say it wrong, but he had an episode in the middle of the night. They rushed him to the hospital. He passed away.
Whoa.
So she's a big advocate for making sure that people have their masks, wear their masks, do it. And I know so many people who have sleep apnea who don't like to wear the masks.
Right.
And I just wish there
They're
was like an
self-conscious about it or something.
Or it's
or whatever.
uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you wear yours.
Yeah, I do. And so, well, the technology for it now is they have so many options of things you can wear. But so what I figured out, when I took this sleep test or whatever, and when I found out, my doctor was saying my oxygen blood level would drop to like 79%, which is like stroke. That's like a stroke.
That's terrible.
Right?
Yeah.
And the way he explained it to me, he was like, that's why you can't remember anything. He's like, because my memory is really bad. Everybody jokes about it in our group. He's like, because your brain is in like constant like survival mode when you're sleeping. God. I was like, that's so bizarre because I don't have any recollection of it. You're completely, I don't wake up like consciously.
Right.
And so now I wear it or whatever, and I sleep like 5 hours a night, and I feel like
a whole new guy.
I'm 22 again.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
So everybody do it.
Everybody wear a sleep mask.
Yeah. So do you wear one?
No. I don't think I have apnea.
I
think I have like cuckoo syndrome, where I wake up at 2:00 in the morning, and everything that is in my brain swirls and swirls and swirls, and then I can't fall asleep again.
So what does the lifestyle editor obsess about?
Oh gosh.
At 3:00 in the morning.
Well, everything that happens here, because this is the most amazing job I've ever had, but it's crazy.
What time do you start?
I start at 7:30. These days I start at 7:30.
Okay, because back in the day we were up in here.
Oh yeah.
Like I was rolling in here at like 6:30.
Oh yeah. I mean, I used to work for most of my career. I've worked the morning shift, so the morning shift starts at 3:30 in the morning here.
Oh.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough. But now it's a lot better. I get here at 7:30. I'm done by 5:00 at the latest.
Okay.
So it's not bad. It's not bad. But, just the things that swirl in a person's head. Like, I'm that person who wakes up in the middle of the night and is like, oh, wouldn't this be a horrible way to die? Let me think about that for 45 minutes.
Yes.
Even though that's not even remotely coming.
So what is the most horrible way to die then?
Can I tell you something that I've never told anyone but our producers?
Yes, please.
On my computer, I have a list of ways I don't want to die.
No, you don't. You don't.
I do.
Show me.
I do.
No,
I do. It's there.
So what is it?
So it's things.
Give me the top 3.
It's horrible because it's things that have actually happened in the news where I'm like,
you must hear about
thing.
everything all the time.
Yeah.
You're completely juiced into like all the craziness.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get it real quick for you.
Okay.
I mean, and I don't take it lightly. Please know that I don't mean it as a joke.
No, this is like a serious...
This is like, oh my gosh, this is horrible that these people died this way, and I'm going to add it to my list of things that I don't want for myself.
I can't believe you have to have a list.
It's a list.
Of things you don't want to die.
Every once in a while we read it. Just to
remind yourself, avoid these.
Did I lie?
Oh my gosh,
Ways
it's actually on there in a file.
Yeah. So I'm only going to read you the ones that aren't local because I feel like if it's local it'd be sad.
Yeah. Don't read me all of them. I want the 3.
Live embalmment.
What?
It happened.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Porta potty explosion.
I would hate that too.
Also happened. Let's see. Buried under a wet mound of garbage.
Oh, that would be awful.
There's 3 for you.
Oh my gosh, you become part of that
mm-hmm.
pile of garbage. Awful.
Yeah.
I think fire would be the worst
would be awful.
way. Like,
drowning
that terrifies
is tough for me too. I don't like the idea of drowning.
Yeah, that would be.
But fire would be pretty bad.
But I hear that. Anyways, we're not going to go down that road. That's
no, let's
super
not.
morbid.
This is really not why we're here.
Let's get back to food. I'm like, because we could go on for hours about this. Because I also think about such things.
See?
I don't have a file.
Well, start one. Yeah. It's really cathartic.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So. We're talking about...
So you came on 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You guys grew like crazy, and we can't believe you keep coming back, but we're so delighted when you do.
Right. Well, so community, right?
Mm-hmm.
It all my kind of trajectory for success, well, I'll call it success, is started here in Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Like this is my first restaurant that I opened that I was a partner of. That was my food where I wasn't working for somebody else. So, and I think my partners feel the same way, is like this will always kind of be home base. Right, even though we're expanding into other markets and all that kind of stuff and growing, Charlotte's really important to us, and so it's important to support you guys too.
Well, and we're grateful for that. I mean, when people can see on television or on social media or whatever, the people who are cooking in the kitchens that they visit regularly, when they can connect with those people, they're more likely to go to your restaurant.
Totally.
They see you on our air, they see you on Bravo, they see you on whatever. They connect with you, they want to be there.
I think it's the familiarity thing, right? It's like people feel less intimidated and more apt to engage if they realize that the chefs are they're just people too.
Yep.
Like we have death lists and things and fears.
You wake
like
up
everybody
at 2 in the
else.
morning.
Yeah, we're obsessing the same way they are, maybe a little differently than you, but everybody obsesses.
I just have more information. That's all it is.
So what is that like for you? Just being like juiced in you must be just getting like funneled information.
Yeah,
How does that work? Like, where does all? I mean, you're
all
in a
kinds
network,
of ways. All kinds of ways. I might drive by someplace and see the sign pop up for the first time. It happens in my neighborhood all the time. I live in Plaza Midwood, and there's constantly, new places opening all the time, and a little sign goes up, coming soon, and that suddenly becomes something we want in on, right?
Yeah,
we want to meet those people, see what they're doing in their kitchens, or if it's a community organization, what are they doing? But so it comes to us all kinds of ways. We see it. You all have, PR folks that work for you that send stuff our way. A lot of restaurants and organizations have that. Other people tell us about it. Somebody might email us. I had a great dinner at Church and Union. You guys should go over there, that kind of thing. It comes to us always. We just always have to be paying attention.
Yeah. So let's talk about the food stuff.
Yeah.
You guys you do the segments on your show.
Yep.
Do you do them every day?
We don't do them every day. But between the two shows, we probably have at least, I would say, 4 or 5 segments a week.
Okay, so a week. So there's 52 weeks in a year. So what's the math on that? That's
a lot.
That's a lot. That's a super lot.
Journalists don't do math, Jamie.
I know.
So
I
a lot.
My phone's over there, and I'm going to look at it. I'm like, let me calculate real quick.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a lot. So you have a lot of chefs through your kitchen.
Yes.
And you like food.
I love food.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love food.
What's your favorite kind of food?
Well, I'm Italian.
Oh, so you have a soft spot?
So I have a soft spot, but it's got to be good Italian.
Yeah.
Can't just be.
So we're going to have to talk about good Italian in Charlotte.
It's really hard.
Is it?
It's really hard.
There's not a ton.
There's not a ton. There are some, and I don't want to single some out and then not mention some and make people angry or sad.
How many are there?
I would say.
How many go-tos?
Good Italian.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Maybe 3.
3.
Now, there's one I haven't been to yet that I want to try.
Okay.
And I'm going to hope that but I would say real good Italian, maybe 3. Like traditional, real good. Mm-hmm. Most times it's because the people come from Italy.
Yes.
So you might be able to think of a couple where the people in the kitchen are from Italy.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So, but look, I also...
the breadcrumbs.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
like the trail of breadcrumbs.
All of you listening can figure it out. But I'm not, look, Olive Garden breadsticks aren't going to turn me away either. So I'm not going to lie. I still will,
So you're not a snob.
I'm not.
You're not
I don't
foodie
think
snob.
so.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Are there any foods that you just can't do? Like you're like, I'm not doing that.
Don't hate me. Pate.
Okay. Why? What is it about pate?
The commercials where you see
how they make
how
spam
they make. I just don't want to know how it comes together. I can't do that. There's not a lot I won't try.
Okay, but will you eat a hot dog? See, you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah, no, I'll eat a hot dog. Like at a ballpark,
a
nice grilled I won't put a hot dog in a microwave.
No, that's.
But if it's been on a grill,
yeah,
I'll eat it for sure, without a doubt.
Okay, so I'm gathering that the technique is almost as important as the product itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I could find way. How do you feel about Cheese Whiz? Cheese from a tube or a can?
Again, not totally against it.
But it's not like a go-to. You're not.
I don't have it in my fridge.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling if you made something with it, I would like it.
So we actually make at La Belle Helene.
Yeah.
Our signature burger has our version of Cheese Whiz.
I love that burger.
Which is like not Cheese Whiz at all, but that was the inspiration.
No, that burger.
It's good, right?
Because
it's got Cheese Whiz on it, sort of. Just doesn't come out of a can.
Okay, but that's fancy cheese whiz.
It really is.
It's fancy.
It's the cheese. It's all about the cheese that you use.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
It's good. That's a good burger.
Okay, so you have all these chefs coming through, and you get to interview them. You talk about their restaurants, their food, all that. Mm-hmm. Do you enjoy that?
I love it. It's my favorite part of this job.
Yeah.
Look, I have one of the best jobs in town.
Yeah.
There is nothing I can complain about with my job. I get to talk to the greatest people, the most kind-hearted people. All of it is great. Mm-hmm. I love it when chefs come in. Yeah. I love it because I just have a million questions. When you come, I'm like, okay, but what does that mean, Jamie? What does that do? I'm very interested in food. I can read menus for fun. I don't always know what they say. No.
You don't?
I can.
Okay, so
I feel like I can.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being
you,
top chef.
Yeah, that's you.
and 0 being like completely just a joke, can't cook anything in a microwave or anything. Where do you fall on the spectrum?
I might be like a 6 or a 7.
So
I can read a recipe, I can do some stuff, but I'm not.
Do you like to cook?
I like to cook. I like to bake more than I like to cook.
Oh, interesting.
I
Why
would
is
say,
that?
I don't know. I think I was baked with my grandma, and
Yeah,
so
that
that's
makes
always
sense.
stuck with me.
Yep.
When it comes to baking, I'm probably like an 8.
Oh.
But maybe, when I'm cooking, it's probably more like a 6.
Gotcha.
But it's me, right?
Yeah.
So like, I'm not cooking a lot for me.
Yeah. Do you entertain people? Do you ever?
Sometimes,
You have like people
especially
over
around
for
the
like a dinner?
holidays and stuff. I make a damn good lasagna.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
I'll make it for you sometime. You can tell me.
Okay.
You'll be like, this isn't that good. No, it's that's like, any kind of stuff like that. Italian stuff that my grandma made, stuff like that I try to do.
We should do like a cook-off.
Oh no, we will not.
I've
do a
been
cook-off.
getting that a lot
We will
lately. Like,
not.
so I met this guy in Charleston, a French dude, and his wife works in restaurants.
Okay.
As a front of the house person.
Yep.
And so we kind of hit it off. I like French people. I grew up in French kitchens,
Sure.
right? So like I like French people. I think they're interesting. And so we're kind of hitting it off. We're talking about a bunch of stuff. He ends up bringing his wife to La Belle Helene for like they make a trip.
To go specifically to
because
the
it's
restaurant.
traditional French.
Awesome.
And I was like, awesome, dude. This is my jam. And so we
Right.
just totally flexed, right?
Yes.
And he was like blown away. Like
Good.
legit blown- and he goes to France every year to like visit family and stuff. So he was like, whoa,
You've got to
that was
figure it out.
really good. And he challenged me to a cook-off.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, bring it, dude. I was like, I love it when people
Oh, so
do
you
that.
were all in.
I'm all in. When people are like, oh, I think that my tartare is better. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Right?
Yes.
So, but we have to do it on their playing field is the thing, because it's not fair for them to come into
Yeah,
my
that's
world.
true. That's
I have
true.
a total advantage.
That's fair of you.
Yeah.
I think that's cool of you.
I think I'm pretty fair. But I mean, but I'm also like, I used to hate competition cooking.
Right.
Right. Like when I first went on Top Chef, I was mortified. But now I'm kind of like, I have fun with it.
Do you think that was the thing that made you have fun with it?
Yeah. Oh, totally. 100%.
Because I remember after your first Top Chef, you were like,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not doing that again.
No.
I am not
Yeah,
doing that
that was
again.
traumatic.
Right?
It was
Like you
traumatic.
were like, never again.
Right.
And then, ta-da.
Yeah, something happened. I think that helped me get to a point where I stopped taking myself too seriously.
I love
Right.
that.
I was very like, our restaurant, like we've got to be the best and we got
Yeah.
to prove all this stuff and all that. Like I just took everything very seriously because I equated my worth and value to my cooking in my restaurants. I realized that through some
Yes.
chatting with people. They were like, oh wow, you take this stuff. And I think that whole experience helped me say, hey, it's just food. Like chill out, dude.
Jamie, that's massive.
Isn't that cool?
That's really good.
Yeah. So now I'm like, bring it. Let's have a competition. Because I don't
That's
care
really
about winning
good.
anymore. It doesn't matter.
Man, that's deep
Right?
though.
It is deep stuff. All right, let's get back to you.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not as interesting.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. I think anytime you have one of those moments that kind of changes your trajectory a little bit.
I've had a lot of those. Well, I'm
That's
also
good.
older now too.
Yeah.
So I'm like 47 now. I'm not like, I'm not in my 30s like trying to make sense of everything. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. I get it now a little bit better.
Don't late 40s feel good?
I love it.
I do too.
And I'm like healthier than I've ever been too. Like sleeping better, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, and now I also have a great team, which
You
is
have
awesome.
5 million restaurants.
Yeah. And they're all led by amazing people.
That's awesome.
And they're all people that are younger than me.
Right.
Which is great.
Bringing
which means
something
that
else.
They're bringing new, fresh ideas, fresh energy, and all we have to do, which is also difficult, is be open to it.
Yeah.
Say, hey, allow them to like do it. Because I know a lot
yeah.
of owners and chefs that are like, like, don't step on my toes kind of thing.
Right.
And that sets people back.
What do you like in the kitchen? I want to know.
That's a good question.
Because, okay.
It depends whether I'm running the shift or not.
Okay, so you're running the shift.
If I'm running the
You're
shift-
running the shift. Am I scared of you?
You're not if you're doing your job. If you're doing what you're supposed to do,
Yeah.
we are all good.
Yeah.
I am the most supportive, mentor chef. But
Yeah.
if people are fucking around or not focused,
Yeah.
I can be very pointed and direct.
Yeah, but that's good.
Yeah.
Because that's what you need, right? You need people in that time to be focused because so much is riding on what's coming out of the kitchen.
Exactly. And like to me, service, like when I'm running a shift, service is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
I don't care about the P&L. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about profit and loss statements at all. Like when we are open, it's all about the guest experience.
Yep.
Like that's what started this whole thing. So it's really important that everybody focus on that when it's time.
Which shows, obviously, because you've continued to be so successful.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So I dig that. I used to be a lunatic.
That's what I wondered, if like there was
Yes.
a time when you were starting
Yes.
where it was like
Crazy.
Yeah.
You could probably ask almost any chef in Charlotte about me 10 years ago, and they've heard stories or worked with me at some point. We're like,
Really?
Yeah. I was loud, abrasive.
Yeah.
I felt a lot of pressure to achieve excellence.
Sure.
Because I didn't have any skin in the game in our restaurant. Like I didn't put any money in. I didn't have any money.
Right.
I was a cook, you know?
Well.
So the sweat equity was my role,
Yeah.
and it was everybody else's money that was riding on our success. So,
Yep.
and that made me very like intense and stuff. So once we kind of got over the hurdles and I learned to release some of the like ownership of everything, where I started trusting my team more and delegating responsibility, it became a lot easier.
Yeah.
And now I'm just kind of like, I'm pretty fun to be around.
Well, and you guys have had that success. You've been able to open in a lot more cities. Now it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
We're okay.
We're okay. We're gonna.
So
make
you don't
it.
have to like be
Yes.
on edge.
And also like we've had some restaurants not do so great. Right, like Nana Byron's, which was an awesome
Which
restaurant.
I loved.
And we loved it too.
Yeah.
And would have been a rock star had we decided to stick it out.
Yeah.
Because we weren't failing. It
Right.
just wasn't performing the way we wanted it to.
I wondered about location with that one too.
It was a little early for South End.
Yeah.
We were a little before the wave there.
Yep.
And had we hung around, the place would have been off the charts. But we had a lot of things going on and our focus wasn't totally there. But anyways, having sold one of our things off that didn't work quite the way we wanted to help temper some of that for me. It's like not everything is going to be a juggernaut, right? Like you have to have some sort of grasp on reality.
Right.
That, like not everything's perfect all the time.
And it allows you to really kind of focus in on what is going well and really elevate that, as opposed to trying to make a thing work that isn't going to work for things that have nothing to do with you.
Right. And I'm sure that Nana Byron's will be back.
You think?
Maybe not in that, but that
concept
still, I think there's a seed for us with that.
Interesting.
I like it. I think we would revamp it obviously and redo it, but I like where that concept is.
Yeah, I like that. What?
Yeah, we
so
can go on forever.
There's
But this
so
is about you. Let's talk about you.
I don't want.
All right, but so
Okay.
all these chefs.
Yes.
Okay. And what about? So I'm curious from your side of things. You've got interviewed all these new chefs, all these new personalities. What is it about your seat that you like from a guest, a food guest, and what maybe you don't like so much? Like I'm sure you have some chefs that you're like, I'm going to make you name only 2 or 3 of them. Where you're like, I don't really care for that.
Breadcrumbs again?
Yeah. But
No,
like you know what I'm saying? Because chefs have pretty wild personalities sometimes. Like
and I like a good wild personality. It makes for good TV. We like that. And I think viewers like that too. You know, when somebody comes in and they know their stuff and they're, that's cool. What is hard for us sometimes, our goal is always to show people at home something, to teach them something. We want them to walk away from our shows feeling smarter. And that really falls in line with these kitchen segments because, we want you to come in and teach us, even if it's one thing. If you come in and you tell us about that tuna that you get from heaven that tastes like heaven in my face, why it's special, what you need to look for when you're looking for, that's something that people can walk away with and feel like, next time I go to a dinner party, I'm going to tell people about the tuna that comes from Hawaii. You know what I mean? That matters to people. So I'm always looking for somebody who can teach us something. I'm always looking for someone who will physically show us how they're doing what they're doing. Because if you just come in and you have a plate and it's already done and you're just adding, your little Salt Bay at the end, it's not as exciting for viewers. They want to watch the magic happen.
Right.
So anytime a chef comes in and is prepared and ready to go, I don't even care if you don't have time to finish it. A lot of chefs, this is their first time on TV.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
Right? So they're like, I don't
Terrifying.
know how to time it out, and the pasta's still boiling and I got to do this over here. We don't care.
Yeah.
Because we'll make it work.
Yeah.
We'll show the finished product at some point in the show. It will be there. But bring the personality, bring the information, teach our people that are watching something so that they walk away and think, that was cool, Jamie. I was watching Jamie today and he taught us about X.
Yep.
And now they know that. And they feel it emboldens them a little bit in the kitchen.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I think there's a lot of like young, like I know a lot of my chefs who are going to start doing these things, because I'm like, all right,
You can't be everywhere at once.
I can't be everywhere at once, and I don't want to do them. And I also want to share the love. Like it's time for them to start like taking the reins a little bit. But it's good that you give them that advice. Like it's not so important that you have like the top chef dish at the end of the thing, as much as you have a cool interaction with the people at home through your food.
Yeah, I mean it's that's all that what we do is about. I mean we do research. We ask our viewers what they're looking for. And one of the things that always comes back is that our viewers want to learn things, whether it's a new language or how to quilt or how to cook. So really every show that we go into, we look at it that way. What are we teaching people today? What are they going to be able to take home from this show? And if we meet that bar, then we've done well.
What about turnoffs? What is your chef turnoff?
Ooh.
Now this is not personally, this is for the show.
And
we'll go to the personal part too, because I want to know, like, all right, when I go to a restaurant and the chef's like, picking their nose, that's a turnoff. We all know.
For sure. When they come on the show, what's a turnoff? It's hard to say because everything's a little bit different. Sometimes when people come in and think they know everything about how we do what we do and what we need, that's a little off-putting sometimes, because it's like, I know what we need in order to make good TV, and most people are great, and they're like, yeah, whatever you tell me, whatever. How is this going to look best? But sometimes people come in and they definitely have an idea of how they think that the segment should go, and it doesn't always match how we think the segment should go.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of tough sometimes, but it's rare.
How do you handle that?
Like you used to be, I am very direct.
Are you? Can you get, because I've never seen that side of you.
Yeah. So I'm a pretty new manager here. So I'm still learning how to manage people.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting journey.
Yes.
Because
that's been the hardest thing for me.
And why is it hard for you?
Well, I think it was hard. Part of it was hard for me because of how I learned, right? I came up in very strict, old school New York kitchens. Most of them were French. Yep. Where, I tell stories all the time about when I worked at Le Cirque. The chef there was from Cambodia. He spoke Cambodian and French, right? So like my relation to him was either through his, the only words that I remember him knowing in English were "you're the dog," is what he used to call me.
And that probably wasn't good.
No, but it made me work harder,
right? And
shut my mouth and do my shit.
Yeah.
I was just like, yes, okay, I'm doing it,
right?
And so it was a very aggressive environment. So that's how I learned.
Yeah.
So that's all I knew.
Yeah.
I didn't have like all this, like I didn't go to business school and all that stuff. So I didn't have all this stuff to rely on.
Yeah.
So I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. I feel like it's been that way for me too. Yeah. I mean, I come from a very, my grandparents came over from Italy. I come from a very like hardworking, you just put your nose down and get your shit done, and you move through and you deal with your stuff, but then you just keep moving through. And so I have a really high expectation for myself. And so as a manager, you have to adjust your own expectation for yourself for the people that you have working with you and under you. So it's been challenging for me. It's been really challenging for me. But when I'm also from upstate New York, you know,
Where
like
are you from?
Well, I grew up outside of Syracuse.
Okay.
Lived in Rochester, lived in Buffalo, went to school at Fredonia. So, have a lot of that.
Yeah.
And there is like an upstate New Yorker kind of directness.
Yes.
That just is natural.
My mother. Okay. I'm becoming more like that's a real thing, everybody, by the way.
All do it.
I am becoming like my
it.
mother. My mother is like, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. But she is like a Brillo pad for people's feelings and emotions. because she just doesn't care.
Right.
Like, she just cuts through the bullshit and she just says what's on her mind. And,
Right.
and sometimes it's completely outlandish and out of this world. And I think it's hilarious, you know, because I can take it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are just like, your mom is kind of a bitch. And I'm like, well, she's not really, she doesn't mean it that way.
Right.
She just doesn't care what people think.
Right.
And that's an upstate New York thing. I think 100%.
So. Yeah, and it's a lot of that, like immigrants coming in and doing the work and whatever. Like, we had somebody come in the other day and I felt awful. They brought a sign, and we usually don't have people put up their signs in our studio just because it doesn't look good on TV. It's for them. It's for the benefit of them. Right. But often they have these really cute signs and it's got the email on there or whatever, and it just doesn't look great on TV. And so I always ask people politely to move their sign. And someone came in the other day and had a big sign and put it right in front of our monitor, and they're like, where should we put this? And I was in the middle of other things and I said, well, I don't like it there. And I thought, stop it. Like, come on, do better. So it's stuff like that that I'm still kind of working through.
You just
and trying
to get up and
like
move it out of the studio. Say, it looks really good out here.
That's right. So it's those kinds of things that have become, things that I'm trying
delivery
to work on.
is a difficult thing to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I was I feel like I was aggressive and could be very direct with people, but I was never abusive. Yeah. I was never like, you suck.
Right.
You're a fucking idiot.
Right.
Like, never like that. I was always just like, what is this shit? Like, what do you think that's good? Like, that's garbage.
A little passive aggressive.
Yeah, like a little like, are we on the same page here?
Right.
It's more like that.
Yeah. But I do think some people learn that way.
They do.
A lot of people don't.
So my VP of culinary now, Adam Hodgson,
Yes.
he's a banger.
Awesome.
Like, he's been with us since we opened.
Yep.
And he's worked every position in the kitchen.
Yep.
And he's the future of our group, right? Yep. He's definitely going to be the one holding it down for a long time.
Cool.
But he learns really well by just getting tore apart. Because in the early days, I would not hold back on him at all.
And he'd fix it.
And he was just he would just work harder, more focused, better, and he would learn. And if you're just too soft with him, he's just he doesn't take it seriously. He's like, whatever. This isn't important.
Yeah.
So he actually is one of those people, I think one of the last unicorns that actually learns that way.
Yeah, because it's not like that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And our kitchens don't run that way anymore.
Yeah. And you don't want it. I mean, we've all learned.
It's a toxic environment.
Yes.
Like it's and the thing that really got me to change my style was that how it made me feel. I was so depleted and frustrated and upset at the end of the shifts when I would get elevated like that.
Yeah.
Because one, I would be exhausted from just raging.
Right.
But also you're not in control.
Right.
Right? I wasn't in control of myself, and I was like, I don't want to be a crazy person like that.
Yes.
And so that's what really helped me start to work on it. And it's been a legit focus on this, talk to people this way, reading books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've gone some places, my friend, in the last 10 years.
There's a really good book.
Yeah, tell me.
You might appreciate it.
Okay.
And anybody out there who's going to management might appreciate it. It's called The Code of Trust.
Ooh.
And it was written by this FBI or CIA spy guy. Mm-hmm. He was a counterintelligence spy for years, and maybe the CIA. Okay. And his basic job was to go in and take enemies that were enemy spies and basically make them assets for the government. God. And he basically wrote a book on his style of getting to people.
Ooh.
And he has these rules, right? This code of trust. And his whole thing was that you have to align your goals with whoever it is, your adversary. It could be somebody you work with, it could be an enemy, but somehow there has to be some commonality in your goals. Find what that is, and then align those things, and you'll get whatever it is you want from people.
Really?
So that's a lot of what I do now. And I took that to heart, and I started implementing it in really mellow ways. Not, this is my new management style. Right. I was just let me try this, right? Yeah. And I started implementing this strategy with talking with people about what it's we're going to do a collaboration dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a goal here that I'm trying to achieve. Yeah. Right? I'm not going to put shit out.
Right.
That's not happening.
Never.
And so how do we do that? Right? And so I start implementing these kind of what is their goal? What are they trying to achieve out of this? Are they trying to get publicity? Are they trying to put out the best dish? Do they want control of it? And then shift my style to work, and it works.
Oh my gosh.
Check out this book.
I will. Oh,
I'll
cool.
send it to you,
That's
and you
cool.
can check it out.
All right, I like
They
that.
have an audio version.
Oh, perfect.
Because I don't actually read. I just look at pictures.
You know how to read.
I know how to read.
Okay.
I'm a picture person. All right. So the management thing. So what's been your biggest struggle with that?
Oh gosh. Well, it's like you manage people, but you're also still in a kitchen, right?
Yeah.
I manage people, but I'm still on the air.
Yeah.
And so
it's your face.
And it's finding that balance between having to be a co-worker, a co-host, the chef that's in the kitchen with you.
Yeah.
And also find those moments, those teachable moments and those manageable moments.
Yeah.
That in the very beginning was the biggest struggle for me because it's like, oh, but you're my friend and you're my co-host and how do I, or you're my friend, but you're my producer and how do I,
Yeah.
But just being kind, I think, has been the way to try to go about it. And I'm not perfect at every stretch for sure.
Yeah,
but trying.
none of us are.
Right. But trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. One thing that I've found that works for me is like, I always call it like suspending your ego, right? Because like we all have this vision or whatever of like the way we want things to be, and we're kind of perfectionists and like we strive for excellence and all that kind of stuff. But I think like it goes to kind of taking yourself not too seriously, is that when you fuck up, like to be able to like own that shit and say, hey, this one's on me.
Yep.
Like, and apologize to your people is huge. Like I always teach my managers, like my chefs that are young executive chefs or sous chefs, like you got to be real with your people. If you fuck up, you got to go own it. Like go apologize to them. Say, hey, that's not your, like this service sucked because of my decision. Yep. Right. And that's not on you guys. Thank you for whatever. And that goes a huge way.
I think so too. That's really important to me. I mean, I try to always be the first to point out the things that I screw up because I
don't like being told that I screwed up. I like being the one that says,
let me do it. Let me say it so you don't have to. But really, I mean, and in a lot of cases, nobody else is going to say it because in your case, they work for you, right? They're afraid. They don't want to say, Jamie, we would have done better, but you screwed up. Yeah. And so, I think that's really important because you don't always want to be pointing the you got to do a little of this too. Yeah.
So one of our company mottos, like we have like all these slogans, right? Like there's only we is like one of our kind of mantras. One of our most important mantras is I fucked up. And that starts from day one. Anybody who works management for us knows this. All these guys know it. It's like, you got to take ownership. Right. So people will call me out.
Yeah. Yeah. They do?
Yeah, they do. They won't do it like in front of the team.
Right.
Like they won't be like, chef, on the line. Nope, that's not right. You
did it wrong, chef.
Yeah, no, they won't do that. But like that's part of our company culture is that it's okay to have confrontation and say, hey, like anybody can pull me aside, in the office and say, hey, I have an issue with this. Like what you said is fucked up, or the way you did that, I'm not so sure,
That's good.
But, we try to do it respectfully and like without, creating drama. Drama's the worst.
Drama's the worst.
Do you guys have drama in what you do?
No. We're all totally normal, perfectly sane people all the time. Did you watch The Bear?
I watched the first episode.
And you stopped because?
Anxiety.
Really?
It gave me like wicked
back to like being in a kitchen at a French restaurant, getting yelled at, anxiety.
Yep. And also just, it reminded me of a lot of like how I used to be when I was younger. Like when I was a young chef in New York, I was very much like that.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that's not me anymore.
Oh, I kind of want you to watch the whole thing.
I'll freak out. Like I literally like have a physiological response. Like my palms start sweating.
Can't have that.
I'm like at the edge of my seat, like watching, like, oh my God.
You'd be that way the whole time because it's that way the whole time. But I loved it.
I think it's awesome.
Having not worked in a kitchen like that, I worked in restaurants when I was a kid, but having not worked in a kitchen like that, I thought it was fascinating, and I always wonder how true to life that kind of stuff is.
From what I saw in the first, I think I might have watched 2 episodes. Like I watched the very beginning. I was like, okay, I'm good. I know where this goes. Yeah, I got it. I don't need to relive it. Right. I felt like it was very well done, although it was a little extra. Yep. Right. Sure. But I think it was super well done. Okay. Especially the way they took the main character and put him into this completely different restaurant scenario where you get trained. It's almost like the military, I mean, like in those like kinds of kitchens, you're trained to be very specific about what you do. Everything has a reason, a way, and there isn't a whole lot of variation. And so you take that person, you put them in any environment, it doesn't change the way that they've been trained.
Right.
They're going to attack it
The
the
muscle
same way.
memory is going to be.
Right. So you put this guy in like a deli, and it's like, okay, he's doing the same type of shit you would do at a Linea that you would do.
Yeah.
You know, but you're just applying it to like casual food, which is crazy.
I thought it was interesting.
Super funny.
That was interesting, and I thought the way they showed food was interesting. And that's like, for me, like, again, looking at pictures in a cookbook, reading a recipe, like trying to envision what a thing tastes like. That was interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's why I love to like read cookbooks and see pictures of food and follow all these Instagram food accounts, because I just like to look at the food and think in my head, like, if I ate that, what would it taste like? But then I go to La Belle or I go to Church and Union and I'm that's what it tastes like.
Yeah, you stop.
That's the French onion soup that I dream about.
Yeah, I dream about that French onion soup too.
It's so good.
It's a good one.
And oh my God, there's so much. Did I tell you I'm going to Church and Union for Thanksgiving?
Are you really?
Yeah, because we had such a good time a couple years ago, so we're going back.
Yes. How many people? Are you bringing a big one?
There's a big one.
Like
I think there's going to be 7 of us.
7?
But I decided already that I'm getting the turkey this time.
Because
you
didn't do it.
Last time I didn't.
Yeah.
You brought it out. We had it, and it was
Yeah.
so good that I'm getting the turkey this time.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad. You're going to love it.
I know.
It's so I like doing the holidays.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I used to do both of them. Like when I was the chef, I was there for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like I loved the holidays because that was the one time in my growing up that our family like was all together.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah,
I had
for
2
sure.
brothers, and you know, we would only be in the same room during Thanksgiving or
I get it.
or Christmas. So I enjoy it. I like sharing that and having the hospitable place for people.
It felt very hospitable when we were there before, so that's why we're going back. So I'm excited.
Sweet,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
fun.
excited.
Let's talk about cookbooks.
Okay. I love cookbooks.
Tell me about it. What's your what are your favorites and what do you like about them? Because I also like cookbooks.
Do you?
Yes.
But see, you probably like them for different reasons than I do. Like you look at it like a case study, right?
Yeah. I use them as they're inspiration tools for me.
Are they?
Yeah. I have 2 types of cookbook.
Okay.
I have the inspiration books.
Yep.
Most of them are like large like Thomas Keller books, and like all those like books that just have beautiful photography and stuff. And I just look at those to like get my juices flowing.
Yes.
And then I have like the research books that I'm like, okay, I've got a whole library on charcuterie. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do some dried cured meats. I'll dip in and like refresh because you can't remember everything.
Right.
But my office is just filled with cookbooks.
Yeah. So for somebody who doesn't cook, me, I have a lot of cookbooks. I have a lot of cookbooks at home.
Okay.
And I just like to look at the pictures.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like to look at the pictures. My favorite cookbook is a cookbook that when my grandma passed away, my cousin took all of her handwritten recipes and made a cookbook out of her handwritten recipes.
That's awesome.
So it's all the old Italian stuff that she would make, or all of the stuff that, you know, back in the day, they'd cut the recipe out of the magazine and they'd, you know, save it forever.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff. That's my favorite cookbook, and it has 0 pictures, but I can see my grandma's handwriting, and that's really special.
That's awesome.
But anything that looks pretty, I want to look at it. A lot of baking, a lot of like, if I see a picture of a cake with frosting and sprinkles, I can stare at it for 10 minutes. I love frosting and sprinkles so much.
Are we talking about confetti sprinkles?
Any kind of sprinkles.
Any kind of sprinkles?
Any kind of sprinkles. If it's a sparkly sprinkle, I'm at like even 10,000 times more in. I follow sprinkle accounts on Instagram because I like sprinkles so much with frosting. We had someone come in the other day and make something with frosting and sprinkles, and all I did was take a spoonful of frosting, put sprinkles all over it, and then just eat that. I just love it.
I did salt sprinkles last night on one of our dishes.
A little less exciting to me than
Really?
Yeah, but what was it?
So
Tell me more.
So I took Malden sea
Yes.
salt, like the really nice, super flaky salt, and I mixed into that gold leaf, and like
Now
mixed
I'm
it.
in.
So now the salt flakes were like coated in gold leaf, and we like sprayed
What was it on? What'd you put it on?
the venison with crawfish étouffée.
Right, because you had the big Louisiana thing last night.
Which was amazing, by the way.
It was good.
We sold more like the first 15 minutes of service, we sold like 20 tasting menus. I was like, we need to prep more stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like Lyle was like, how many of these tastings are we going to sell? I was like, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to do like 30 tasting menus and then people would order a la carte.
Sure. The whole thing.
It was all
The whole
tastings.
Oh
all
my
night.
gosh.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Look, you guys came in. That was awesome. The next day, Chris Coleman came in. What they made, I thought I was not going to like.
Yeah.
And
What
it
did they
ended up
do?
being
Do you
great.
remember what it
They
was?
did fried shrimp heads
Yeah.
with, how do you say it? Wagyu. Yep. Tartar.
Uh-huh.
And oyster sauce with some other kind of fish sauces in there. It was really good.
Was it?
You guys
know.
all knocked it out of the park with
Good.
the Louisiana stuff. It was really cool.
So you guys did the Louisiana stuff all week.
We
Was
did
it-
too.
Oh,
We did.
Oh yeah, it was
you
the 2
and
days
then,
because
yeah,
they
it was
came
the
in
2
on
days.
Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, because then on Wednesday night, I went to that like little media preview they had.
Yeah.
And all 14 of the Louisiana chefs were there. Man, this one dude made some soup that was unbelievable.
Really?
It was like a pumpkin curry something.
Oh, nice.
It was really good.
Cool.
Like you want to lick the
Yeah, I love
dish
that.
when it's done.
We were super pleased with the dishes. Like obviously we collabed on everything. We
Yeah.
talked it out, but like you never really know.
Yeah.
Right? Like literally here, when we
Yeah.
arrived here,
Yes.
is the first time we got together in the kitchen to do it.
How does that even happen?
Well, I mean, so we speak the same language,
Yeah.
right? So it's the same way probably you guys have your own language back
Yeah.
there. So like going through the collab process, like we kind of get it,
Yeah.
right? Like keywords will set you off and be like, okay, it's like this.
Right.
That's how we're going to do it. So, but I didn't know how we were going to cook together until we got here. I was like, all right, well, how are we going to do this?
It was
So
great.
it was kind of good.
It was yummy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the dishes came out awesome. I was really
Good.
pleased, really happy with them. And I
Good.
think the feedback was great. So
Good.
that was a lot of fun.
Good.
All right. So pictures.
Yes.
You like sprinkles.
I love sprinkles. Love sprinkles so much.
What are your top? Can you give me your top 3 cookbooks
Oh,
that you
gosh.
like to look
By
at?
name,
not
probably
not the one with your grandma's stuff because that's sentimental.
That is
Obviously, that's going to
sentimental.
be number 1.
I have, I couldn't give them to you by name. Like,
Okay.
I don't have like here are my top 3 cookbooks.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you that the things that I go back to
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, again, it's about the pictures because I'm not cooking the recipes usually. There's a Tyler Florence cookbook that I keep going back to because the pictures are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
There are some baking books that I go back to over and over that are like old. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
current modern stuff.
Right.
But it's like my mom had them she got them from my grandma. It's that kind of stuff that they have the cookie in it that we eat every Christmas,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
uh-huh.
So I don't have like a list of my top 3, but I can tell you that the cookbook collection in my house continues to grow every single year.
Okay, cool. So I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
There you go.
You're gonna get some cookbooks.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Because I'm like always buying cookbooks, like constantly.
Yeah.
Just because and I've got some old ones. Like I
Yeah.
have some really old like Julia Child ones, like
Yeah.
first print stuff. Because I actually cooked for her in New York when I worked. Yeah, when I worked at Cafe Boulud in New York.
Yes.
I think it was like 4 or 5 years before she passed. So and she came in to Cafe Boulud while I was working. I was the saucier there at the time, so I was roasting all the meats. And we did a dinner for her, and it was awesome. She came back in the kitchen, and we were just like,
Did you know before she came in that she was coming?
yes, we knew she was going to be there.
Were
She knew
you-
Danielle well. I mean, they had known
Yeah.
each other because like he's French,
right.
and a badass,
A badass.
and so they had a long relationship. They knew each other for a long time. And,
Were you nervous?
I was not.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I was the saucier, and I was such a cocky asshole back then. Like I was like, I'm the fucking best. Like I got this.
She's gonna love my
Yeah, I was like, if she doesn't like this, she's a fucking idiot. Like, there's no question. Her palate is bunk, right? Like, I was just such an idiot.
That's amazing.
So, and also like, I was doing, Andrew Carmelini worked the pass, like literally next to my station. So like, there was nothing going down there that wasn't
right.
totally like
You
controlled.
knew going out
Yeah.
was gonna be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and he tasted everything that we served. So
Is there anyone now that you think you'd feel nervous to cook for?
I would be terrified to cook for Andrew.
Would you?
For my mentor?
Yes.
Yeah, terrified. And like, I don't know why, because like, but it's that thing, like, he taught me everything I know, and you don't want to let them down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, him. But other than that, like, I don't really. Yeah.
Well, you've also cooked for a lot of people.
I've cooked for a lot of people.
So-
And I think in cooking through the restaurants that I cooked in New York, Le Cirque,
Yeah.
Cafe Boulud, Oriole, like, we cooked for everybody. I mean, I remember we cooked for Whoopi Goldberg one time at Le Cirque. So this was in 1997 or 8 or
Okay.
something, okay? So Whoopi was like in her like,
Oh, yeah.
heyday, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she was kind of difficult.
Really?
Like she would come in and order shit that was not on the menu. Like she would
That's gotta be annoying.
It was super annoying. Now, I was the entremetier, which is the veg cook.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I cooked all the vegetables and garnishes that went with the main courses.
Got it.
And she would come in and order like a whole roasted chicken. We didn't have whole roasted chicken on the menu, so like the chef, the little Cambodian guy, would be like, "Okay, you go get the chicken, and we tie it, and we put it in the thing, and just go crazy." And we're like, "Okay, what the fuck is happening?" We're like, "It's for Whoopi Goldberg. You got to do it." And she would order carrot puree. Who the fuck orders
that?
Carrot puree, right?
Right.
But I was the veg guy, so he'd be like, "You, the dog, you make the veg," and I'm like, "Oh fuck." So I'm gonna divulge my secret.
Oh.
I don't know that I've ever told this publicly.
Oh, good.
So, but what I used to do is I would go back to the veal stock.
Yeah.
The big giant vat that's cooking the veal stock in the back, and scoop the carrots out, and then puree them, and mix in some butter and and that's how I made her carrot puree.
Really?
She loved it. Yeah.
It's kind of
Like, what do you think I was gonna run up to the cooler and like get carrots and like start peeling them?
Puree them?
Fuck that. No way.
Whoopee.
I was like, nah.
No whoopee. You do not get that.
Yeah.
It's always amazing to me though that someone thinks that they can come in. I would never come in and say to any chef or any server, "I know this isn't on the menu, but can you make me this thing I like?" Like,
right? Who does
stunning to me that people
know.
think that that's okay.
And I think I don't know what that is. Like, because I don't do that either.
No.
Like, I don't even like send shit back. Like, if I go to a restaurant and I have stuff that's not good, I'm just like, we're just not gonna eat that.
Yeah.
And sometimes Corey, my fiance, will be like, "Hey, you should send that back." And I'm
Right.
like, I just don't feel comfortable like doing that to people.
Because of how you feel when something gets sent back?
Yeah, except I don't care. like I mean, I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like my thing is like, so I'm a hospitalitarian. Right. Like I'm out there to take care of people.
Yes.
And so I feel like if I send shit back, that's going to like mess with them. Right. And I don't want to mess with people, especially if they know who I am.
Right.
Because now people recognize me and stuff. So they're like, "Oh, we fucked up his day." Oh, yeah, I'm not doing all that.
Right.
I don't want to play that card. But also, I know what it can do to you in the kitchen when your service starts to go haywire. It can like spiral out of control.
Yep.
So typically I'll just like, I'm not doing that.
Yep.
But when I'm in the kitchen and things aren't right, like I want it to be right. So like if somebody sends it back, it's not a problem for me to like redo it. Let's get it right. Let's do it fast. Because I don't want people to have a bad experience.
It's so interesting though, because you're assuming then that other chefs aren't like you. And I bet more chefs are like you than not.
They probably are.
Yeah. And
we're probably all the same. We're all,
Look, I've interviewed a lot of you. A lot of you are very similar.
Okay, cool. So let's get into that.
Okay.
So tell me about the similarities from your perspective about us.
Do you want me to start at tattoos or end with tattoos?
You can end with tattoos. You can end with tattoos.
No, I love all the tattoos.
Yeah.
No, a lot of you are very much the same. And I think it's really cool because I think in a lot of cases, chefs here that I have interviewed multiple times to the point where I feel like I know you guys a little bit more. I feel like that's why I think it was really cool that you were defining yourself by your job and you thought that maybe that wasn't the right thing to do.
Right.
I feel like in a lot of cases, this job, being a chef, being in the kitchen, being able to be creative in that way has pulled a lot of people out of a lot of things. And I think it's really cool and beautiful that not only has it pulled a lot of people out of a lot of things and made them find their path and their way and their creative thing, but it's also making the people you're serving so happy.
Right.
So it's like a win-win. And that's what I think of when I think of chef similarities. I can think of like 5 of you where I'm like, yep, that's brilliant. That is brilliant because this person found their thing that they're supposed to be doing in this life and look at how many people they've made happy with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
That is cool. And I think that's the most satisfying thing for most of us, right? Because let's be real. Chefs aren't getting rich. Like this is not something you do to like make money. If you're lucky and if you're very good, you can like do okay. You know, you have a comfortable life. But we're not getting rich. This isn't like we're not movie stars or something.
Yep.
And so a lot of the satisfaction that we seek, I think, is that hospitality, right? People appreciate what we do and they come back, right? Because that's the sustainability part.
Yep.
It's like if we're doing what we're supposed to do well, which is take care of people and put out food that inspires us, but also, leaves a lasting impression on people, like a positive mark on them, then they'll return.
Yep.
And then we'll be fine. Like the restaurant will stay busy, or at least busy enough to keep us fed and all that, and that's good.
And you know what? It's not dissimilar from what we do.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not getting rich over there?
Not getting rich, for sure. But it's the same deal. Like, if we are authentic and if we share little bits of ourselves through our shows and share information with people that matters to them, they will keep coming back.
Yeah.
And then there's the sustainability for us.
Do you have any sort of, I'm sure you do, I mean, you guys have ratings and all that stuff. How has the trajectory for your show, and your shows are, you have some new shows too, they've kind of morphed over the years,
Yeah.
but like your viewership, is it up? Is it great? How's the feedback? Like all that stuff?
It's great. And I have to be honest, it's hard right now in television.
Yeah.
It's hard. People's habits are changing. How they're watching are changing. How we're measuring that is changing. So it's kind of a tumultuous time to know exactly where you stand. But I count on when I'm in Harris Teeter,
Yeah.
you know,
How
and
many
somebody
people-
comes up and says, I saw Jamie make this crazy thing on your
Yeah.
show the other day, or Mary said the funniest thing and it was so cute and we absolutely love her, or Cheryl, blah, 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 and she's so smart, and she, you know, when people say those things to me,
Yeah.
those are the things that I, like, when I watch how that ebbs and flows, that's how I really know how we're doing. And right now I feel really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel really
So
good.
do you shop at the Teeter in Plaza Midwood? Okay, guys. So if you guys see Kristen over in there, go up and say hey. She loves it.
But I like the constructive criticism too. Don't get me
Okay,
wrong. Because
okay.
people feel free to tell us when they don't like something we've done.
Yeah.
And as long as it's constructive, I want to hear it.
Okay,
You know?
good.
Yeah.
So what is the most embarrassing thing that somebody could see in your buggy at the Teeter when they come up to say, hey, your hair looked great today? And you're like, oh, don't look at my basket. Don't look at my basket. What's in there?
Usually, lately, it's been pretty good because
Okay.
I'm trying to be healthy.
It's working.
Thank you. I'm trying. COVID, man, it was like, here I'm sitting in my house in COVID. I got nothing else to do. Let me drink
Just
some
putting
wine
sprinkles
and
on everything.
eat frosting
Yeah,
every
yeah.
day.
Red wine and sprinkles,
Yes.
baby.
Oh, that's a dream.
Yeah.
That is a dream. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, what kind of thing could be embarrassing that
Yeah.
I get? I don't know. I tend to, because I'm not like an avid cook, I tend to like have frozen whatever
Yeah.
in there.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, yep, I eat lean cuisines. Sorry. You know, I
Okay.
mean, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Or like anytime you get something in like the pharmacy aisle.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yep, I had to get that this week, and I'm really sorry that we're meeting for the first time, and there it is.
And now we know each other.
And now you know where I'm at in my
Yeah.
life right now. So that kind of stuff. But you
Gotcha.
know what? People are usually so nice that it doesn't even matter.
I remember, I'm probably not going to tell this right, but it reminded me, I asked you the question, and it reminded me of a time that it was like Corey and I first started dating.
She's so cute, by the way.
Thank you.
I adore
love her to
her.
death. She's the best.
Yeah.
She makes me better, which is so amazing.
When I've told you this before, I love how you love her.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
She's one of the most empathetic people I know. Like, she just gets people
Yes.
to the point where it's like almost her own like undoing. You know, like she
Yeah.
feels everybody's feels.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, which I think is like really magical because not a lot of people have that. So anyways, but so we were first started dating, and I think she called me. We were talking on the phone or something, and I was at the Teeter getting some stuff. I think I might have been just back from like Top Chef or something because we
Okay.
met like right after that whole thing.
Yep.
And she asked me like what I'm getting at the store or something.
Right.
And I think I was sick. Like I had just been traveling and I was just not feeling good. So I had like 2 bottles of red wine, a bottle of NyQuil, a frozen pizza, and like a bag of like Sour Patch Kids or something.
Yes.
And she's like, show me. So I put her like on
Yeah.
FaceTime and like show her my card. She's like, she loves that story. She's like, man, you are just a train wreck. Like you need me so bad.
That's
Like,
right.
you're not going to survive
That's right.
doing what you're doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was a disaster waiting to happen
Yeah.
right there.
And it totally happened.
What's your favorite candy? Is it Sour Patch Kids?
I mean, that's like my go-to. I love sour stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it shocks your palate.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it has to do with like, I taste stuff all day.
Right.
And my palate gets tired.
Right. So you need something.
Something bold. So I think that's kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's I mean, Reese's are just so good. They're so good.
There's nothing wrong with
I
them.
know.
Like you can't even find a thing that's wrong with them. Here's
the
what's
only thing
wrong.
is that they melt.
They melt.
That's the only thing.
They melt, and when they try to mess with them, when they make like
don't
the
put-
big Reese's cups, or they put other stuff in there that doesn't need
The
to be in
ratio
there.
isn't right now. You've messed it up.
Thank you.
I
Thank
get
you
it.
for
I get it.
seeing me.
Yeah, We get each other.
Oh, God.
So Reese's are probably my all-time favorite,
me
and that
too.
goes back. My dad used to get those for me. Like that was the thing when he was coming home from work. He would do it. Like,
How do you eat them? Do you have a way? I have a way.
How do I eat them? I
You
don't know
just
that
bite?
I have a way. No, I mean I think I used to bite off the rim.
Yep.
That was my way.
I take the
And then go
little
for the-
pokey parts that are on the top.
Yeah.
I go around to take those first. Then I do the full outside. Then I do the middle.
Oh,
It like
crazy.
prolongs. The
Yeah, you don't want to just like
No.
pop them in and then they're gone. You're like, oh, I ruined it.
See, you got to live that as long as you can.
Although if you do, I have taken the whole Reese's in one shot, and it, like if you don't just like swallow it whole like a pill,
Yes.
it's a good experience.
The
Like
whole
it
thing
kind
at
of
once.
dissolves slowly in your mouth, and like the layers come through. It's pretty awesome.
For you,
they're
I will
nodding
try
over
that.
there.
For you, I will try.
So we're gonna wrap some things up. But
Yes.
So we did the grocery store.
Did the grocery store.
Who's your favorite chef to interview on your show? Just wondering.
Just out of curiosity.
Just-
God.
not me.
Like literally my palms just started sweating.
Yeah.
How do you even answer that?
Yeah. Okay, let's change that because I
Yeah.
don't want to put you on the spot. What is your favorite thing you can recall somebody making
Oh.
that either like inspired you, that you were like, whoa, that's super cool, or I never, like, is there something that was like really
Here's
stuck
what I will
out?
tell you, and you've experienced this yourself. Here's my tell, right? I have 2 tells. If I really love something. Now, if something doesn't taste delicious, I'm never going to say that. That's
Yeah.
rude. I would never do that.
Yeah.
That's and I'm not interested in that. Just because it doesn't taste good to me doesn't mean it wouldn't taste great to somebody else.
Right.
And so I never want to put that out there in the world. But I do have 2 tells.
But I do have to say there are times.
There are times when things aren't delicious
Yeah.
to me.
Okay.
But if I really love something,
Yeah.
you know what I'll do?
Yeah.
I hit you.
Yeah. It's the what?
Because I can't even say words that
Yeah.
describe how delicious it is.
Yep.
But also when I take like a second or a third bite, because I can't get enough of what I'm eating, that's like, that is, I'm in. I'm 1,000% in. Now, it's not always the case because sometimes we're out of time and I don't
Yeah.
have time. But if there's time and I go in for a second or third bite, you
Yeah.
know that it's like the jam.
Do you go out to eat a lot?
Yeah.
Do you typically stay in the neighborhood, or do you
No.
venture out?
Mm-mm.
You
I
cruise
venture
around a
out.
lot?
Yeah, I try to get to as many restaurants as possible.
Yeah.
Not just because you and I are sitting here. La Belle is really one of my faves. The
It's
brunch
one of my
there,
faves, too.
honest to God, the brunch there, Jamie, is amazing. The beef bourguignon is amazing. I love it so
The
much.
thing I love about, thank you.
Yes.
The thing I love about La Belle, and it's not that it's I do love that it's mine. I was
Yeah.
actually telling Lyle that last night. I went and showed, like, after we cooked together, we walked over there.
Good.
And I do love, like, I'm super proud and I feel lucky that that's my restaurant now. I wish I could take credit for building it, but I didn't.
Well, you built what's coming out
Well,
of the kitchen.
the thing is, like, the food it's not fussy.
Right.
It's like, it's traditional. It's the way I think French food should be served.
Yep.
And that's not fussy. It's straightforward. It's true to the traditions and style of bistro food.
Yep.
And that's what I love about it.
It's so
and,
great.
we make mistakes too. It's not always perfect. The soup doesn't come out perfect every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I get just as sad as anybody else when I take a bite. I'm like, oh, the seasoning's off. That's not. But when it's on, ooh, I love that food.
Nothing like it. When you showed me those onions cooking that day, I was like, oh my God.
It's not health food is the problem.
Who cares? Who cares? I want the soup all day.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
So yeah, that's one of my faves.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of other places I'm really into lately, or places that I haven't tried that I want to. Gosh, I went to Red Salt recently. That's underrated, I
Okay.
think. It's so off the beaten path.
Yeah.
And people just don't know it's there
That's
unless
Park
you're like
Road, right?
It's over in the Le Meridian Hotel.
Oh, okay.
So it's like down that
Oh,
way.
yeah.
The
I
David
got
Burke
you.
one.
Yep.
But they're doing really yummy stuff there. There are chefs who come on anytime. Sam Domenech comes on, I'll eat anything he makes. I
love Sam.
He's one of the best humans in the whole
I
world.
run into Sam at the gym all the time.
Ugh.
It's so great.
He's just a great, look at you two, like being
I know.
bodybuilding bros.
I know. Well, like a lot of, so, we're both sober.
Yeah.
Too, so it's like, okay, well, we don't party. So it's like when you
Right.
get up at 6 a.m. and you're like, nobody else is doing anything. You're
Right.
like, what are we going to do?
Sure.
I have to do something.
Of course.
So it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. But yeah.
So, we just,
Bodybuilding bros. He's ripped, dude. For a little dude, he is like, He's looking good.
Okay, but the two of you are doing just fine.
We're doing fine.
So let's just,
We're doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to help him when he gets Restaurant Constance open.
Good.
Yeah, he hit me up yesterday. He said he's getting really close.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I could use some hands. I was like, I'll come help you out, man. I'm like, fuck yeah.
It's really funny because I'm not in your world. I don't know if it's like in TV, some people really like each other. Some people just tolerate each other, whatever. It's interesting to see in your industry who really likes each other and who really, helps each other. But I think in a lot of cases, you all really do help each other. And I think
Charlotte
that's really
specifically.
cool. Yeah.
I think that's true in a lot of markets. Charlotte, it's specifically true. I mean, the camaraderie in Charlotte is way more vibrant than it is in other markets. Like in Charleston, people don't hang out together.
Really?
Some people do. Like there's acquaintances and whatever, but you don't like hang out the way that we do here.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is that a lot of us that are having our own restaurants now, we're a part of the growth of Charlotte as Charlotte kind of is coming into its own.
True.
And help building that. So we were all like doing the events, doing the charity stuff, doing all that stuff together. Yeah. And all ships rise, man. Like the more cool.
That's what Chris said yesterday.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
That's kind of our motto here is like if we're all doing well, like more people are going to come here to see what we're doing.
So I worked on this big project for an entire year, and you and Sam were the first two people I came to about it, and you were both immediately in, and I'm so grateful for that. But Sam said, yeah, I'm in. And if any other chef is not in, you tell me and I'm going to go talk to them.
Yeah.
And I think he said it because he knew he didn't have to.
Right.
Because he didn't have to, because every single chef said yes. But I just loved that idea that you guys are all kind of in it together.
And here's the thing about Sam too, is that Sam is he's such a hospitality person too. And a lot of that is in service to others because of his sobriety and stuff like that. Like he feels a debt to people to to be good and make sure you do the right thing, I think. But because he's so gracious that way, is that you feel bad telling him no. If Sam asks you, you're like, okay, fine. I don't really want to, but of course I'm going to do it, right? Because it's you. It's one of those deals.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about your project.
Yeah, this is a big project. You are literally the first chef that's in this cookbook to be seeing the cookbook in real life.
I love it. I'm so exciting to see it. Here it is right here.
Yes. It's the WBTV Family Recipes Cookbook, Tastes and Talents of Charlotte. And this has been a passion project of mine. I've wanted to do this for so long. And this is the first time we've really been in a position to do it. Yeah. And we had so many great partners that, Jamie, I'm telling you, we did it for free.
No way.
We did it for free. So that nearly every dollar goes to two charities in our community. One is the Bulb, which brings fresh produce into food deserts.
I love it.
And one is the Johnson & Wales University Scholarship Fund, which is going to get more kids through that program and into restaurants to feed all of us. 98 or 99% of the kids at Johnson & Wales get some sort of funding to be there.
That's so great.
And so this is going to help.
This is going to help support that.
Yep.
Awesome.
So we had great partners. Johnson & Wales is a partner. Spark Publications, which does beautiful cookbooks and books and all kinds of things, did the layout and everything, made it look beautiful. Shutterfly printed it for us. Everybody worked for free.
Oh, that's
you
so
guys
great.
all submitted recipes, and I'm just
How many chefs are in here?
I want to say there are about 15 local chefs, and then about as many WBTV anchors and reporters who submitted family recipes.
How were you able to get all of this information?
It has been.
I mean, I have the email saved on my computer about hey guys, just a reminder.
Look, this is not intended to be a commentary on chefs in general.
Okay.
But a lot of you creative folks are in 1,000 directions at once, so it's really hard to nail you down. But look at you.
Look at that.
Look at you.
I got the 2-page banger. Are they all like that?
Well, yeah, but look at that beautiful picture.
That's a beautiful picture.
Why did you want to submit that recipe?
So this was one of the first recipes that I did for Five Church back in the day. And nowadays, so Corey's family is Polish.
Oh my gosh.
Pierogies is one of the dishes that her grandmother does. Whenever we do family dinner, for somebody's birthday or whatever,
I love pierogi.
We go to her grandma's house and pierogies are almost always on there.
I mean,
so I was
that's
it's
amazing.
kind of a little
full circle.
Shout out to them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm so grateful that you did it. And you're a cover model. You see that?
I did see that. And Sam, we got Sam to manage
Sam's
it.
on
and
there.
then your beautiful face right there.
Greg Collier. Who was another immediate yes.
Yep.
Chris, the batch maker, she's got lines out the door. I called her and I said, please, will you submit a recipe? And she was in, but she's like, I feel like I'm giving up one of my children. Like, these recipes are my babies, right? But she submitted the recipe for these peanut butter cookies that are out of this world.
I'm going to make them.
They're so good.
Peanut butter is one of my weaknesses.
That's them right there.
That's them?
Yes.
Ooh.
They're so dang good. We just got tons of people. Anthony Hamilton, like Charlotte's own R&B Grammy Award-winning singer, he even submitted a recipe.
That's so great.
It's really cool.
All right, so how much is this? Where can people get it?
So $30. It's a great holiday gift.
Yep.
$30. Almost every dollar is going to go to the two charities, split between the two charities. We are only selling it local.
Nice.
So we're selling it at Park Road Books and Paper Skyscraper starting November 15th.
Cool.
So you can only get it in those places. 15th. It's a limited run. There are only a few hundred books. So if you want one, you got to go get them soon.
Do they have to go to the stores physically, or
or
will they be able to order them from Park Road? Like, do they
online?
Have
I'm not sure. I need to find out.
Find out.
That's
let me
a good
know,
question.
Because if
I'll
so,
let you know.
I want to put a link. I'll put a link on my website too.
Yeah.
People to kind of like funnel that way.
Yeah, because I think they're going to go fast. We just don't have a lot.
Do you have a set amount of prints, or can you print more? Is it
so?
How deep is the well here?
The well is not extraordinarily deep, but we are actively searching for someone who will help sponsor this, who can help us print many, many more, so that many, many more dollars can go to these charities.
Awesome.
So we're crossing our fingers that someone will step up and say, you know what, this is really cool. This is a full community project right here in our own hometown, and we want to support folks that are feeding us and helping to feed us. And so we're looking for somebody who's going to step up.
So how does that person reach you?
They email me at kmiranda@wbtv.com.
You heard that? Send an email to Kristen Miranda.
And really, anybody, my email is public. Anybody can email. If anybody listening is a chef, is someone who has a story to tell, who wants to promote a thing, we're always looking for really cool stuff to show on our show.
Cool.
On both of our shows. Just know that it's got to teach somebody something, like we said. And if it does that, it at least gets in the door.
I have an idea.
Yes.
So Mike Knoll and I are going to do a collaboration tasting menu in December.
Okay.
This is the first we're talking about it right here. I think it would be interesting because he's a very creative cat. He's an interesting dude. And his cooking voice is very cool.
Yeah.
And it might be interesting to talk a little bit about collaboration.
Yeah.
And how that works.
Cool.
Because it's going to be, we just started developing the menu for it.
Yes.
And it's a very interesting process.
Okay.
Because this is a legit 7-course tasting experience.
Wow.
Right. We're both going to be all in on it. We're going to have our number 2s with us. So Adam will be there and his CDC will be participating, and it's going to be super cool. So that might be fun.
Okay.
I'll send you an email.
Do you know my email?
I know your email. I'll shoot you a text.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for doing the book.
No, thank you for doing the book. I'm honored
pleasure.
and grateful, and it's going to help a lot of people, and I know that's a big part of what your mission is. So thank you for being a part of our mission and doing that.
There we are. Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye.